Hello, this is lecture 18 of game theory course, the final lecture in week 6. Okay, we are approaching the mid of this semester. I think the 7th week is the turning point. So anyway, we have reached about like 45% of the lecture. Okay, we have been talking about the real applications of backward induction or subgame perfect equilibrium, which is going to be for more than 1 month. So even from now. So anyway, so what I have been talking about since the last lecture 17, is that the order should be considered. Right now, we are dealing with a case where the players prefer to be the second mover than the first mover because the second mover has a chance to lie and change his word. Okay, and this has a pretty important consequences, sometimes fatal. That is what I call a central bank game. I'm jokingly say that many important things you learn in macroeconomics can also be explained by game theory. We already learned that in the coordination or win-win game, if the producer and consumer produce less, consume less, that is Nash equilibrium, but that is like a recession bad equilibrium. But if the both producer produce a lot and hire a lot and the consumer spend a lot, it's a good cycle going on there, and that's another Nash equilibrium. And all this government program, the fiscal policy or monetary policy to boost up the economy, is actually, from game theory's point of view, moving from the bad equilibrium to the better equilibrium. That is from recession to the boom. So both recession and boom are one of the Nash equilibria. Now we have another game going on in macro that is involved with this backward induction and subgame perfect equilibrium. That is central bank. Uh, kind of a economic situation. There is kind of very serious game going on between the labor union. I said labor, but mostly they are unionized, so labor union, and the politicians. Okay, what does the labor union want? It wants two things. They want to get hired, and their real wage goes up. Okay, so they always want hire us more and increase our wage. Of course, when you increase your wage, the firm will hire you less. Therefore, you will be more unemployed. But that's what they want. On the other hand, the politicians, they want to get re-elected. They want to get re-elected, and how can they do that? There are many factors, but most important factor is the economy should be good. That is why all the government in the world, whether it's America, Japan, Korea, they are desperately boost the economy this year. As you know, the corona has a fatal blow to the economy, but somehow they want to manage the economy to stable. Otherwise, they are going to lose the election. Okay? So think about that. The labor union may increase the wage, higher wage, choose, or they choose the same wage. They will never decrease the wage. So same wage or higher wage. Or it's to some degree maybe 1% increase, but that is kind of same wage. But 10% increase, that is a lot higher than last year. Politicians, they can print out more money or same money. Okay, we are talking about monetary policy. So if they print out more money, people will purchase more. So more money is better in general sense. However, from labor point of view, more money would cause inflation. So they increase their wage 1%, more money cause 10% inflation. Actually, the labor wage would decrease by 9%. So they always want to increase their wage more than the inflation. So what would be a bad thing? They maintain the same wage, but politicians print out more money, the labor get negative 10 because their real wage would decrease. It's like their wage is 0% increased, the inflation is 10% because of more money, then their real income decreased, they got poorer than before. On the other hand, if they income increase and there's no more money, like the zero inflation, 10% wage increase, you may say that can be good, but it's negative 5 because, when the inflation is nothing, which means from producer, the firm's point of view, the sales stay same, but you have to pay 10% more for the wage, then some company would be bankrupted. They will reduce the hirement, so there would be more unemployment. So it is not that good either. Even though if you stay in the company, your real wage goes up, but still, some of you may lose the job. On the other hand, if your wage goes up and the inflation goes up, same wage, the inflation remains the same, it's zero. You have nothing to gain, but nothing to really lose. So that is labor's situation. They want to increase their wage about the same thing. So 10% increase of the wage, 10% inflation, 0% increase of wage, 0% inflation kind of thing. What about politicians? Politicians, the worst thing is the wage goes up, but the inflation does not. What happens? Then some companies are bankrupted, some people will be laid off, unemployed, so they will not vote for you. The economy is in recession because the cost goes up because of the wage, but the sales remain the same. That is recession. So it's going to be negative 20, which means politicians are not likely to be re-elected. On the other hand, if the labor union maintain the same wage and politicians print out more money, inflation, then the companies produce more and hire more because the wage means cost remains the same, but sales goes up. Then the industry's economy is booming, and then the company want to make more product, so everything goes up and more employment. Unemployment would go down, the only thing, okay? Then it's going to be 10. So politicians, inflation, no wage increase might be the best thing. Once again, the labor people are not the only voters for the politicians. So in general, this is good. If the same wage and same inflation, so zero inflation, zero increase, the production would not increase, but at least the politician would be happy with zero, here I said, because there is no inflation. Politicians are most afraid of unemployment. Second, the inflation. But here, at least, even though there's no reduction on inflation, but at least there's no inflation. What about higher wage and more money? Once again, the production remains the same because 10% increase of wage, 10% increase of cost, but inflation 10% means the sales increase 10%. However, there is a inflation which is not good. So that is why higher wage, more money is not as good as same wage, same money. What will happen? The labor moved first and politicians moved second. Why it's not the other way? In reality, the labor union negotiate the owners of the company usually once a year or once in every other year, because you cannot negotiate your wage every day. So one day they decide, okay, let's decide the next year's wage. And whatever you decide, that's it. On the other hand, the politicians can change how much money in the market every day. they can gather together tomorrow and decide to, let's increase the money by 20%. It's possible. So the person who can decide once a year, the person who can decide 365 days a year, it's only natural the labor decide first and the politicians decide anytime after that. The politicians, once the labor union has higher wage, increase 10%, if they maintain the same money, it's -5, no, -20. If more money, it's inflation. Here it's unemployment, -20, inflation, -10. Same wage, same money. It's no inflation, no increase of the production. It's 0. But here, same wage, more money, it's 10. So whether the labor increase the wage or maintain the same wage, the politicians, by backward induction, always print out more money. That is best interest for the politicians. Knowing that, the labor union, even though who has to move first, can, by backward induction, know that politicians always print out more, whatever labor union may do. So, if politicians make more money when the labor union maintain the same wage, the labor union gets -10. Higher wage, more money, 0. Which is bigger? -10 is not as good as 0, so labor union choose higher wage. So subgame perfect equilibrium would be higher wage by labor union and more money by the politicians. Okay? More money here, more money here. That's why the politicians has a pair of strategy, because there are two places, contingent, conditional, to make a decision. On the other hand, labor union has only one place to make a decision, so that is why it is like that. Okay, and what about the equilibrium, subgame perfect equilibrium payoff? The payoff, of course, would be 0 for labor union, -10 for the politicians. Yeah, you cannot avoid it because subgame perfect equilibrium. However, it would be a very sorry result for the politicians because, they may give up the 10, okay? This is the best thing for the politicians. However, if you cannot do that because labor union would never accept -10, so you cannot persuade the labor union, don't increase your wage, but we will increase inflation. The labor union said, we are getting 0 right now. Are you asking me to move -10? So the only thing politicians can say is, if you maintain the same wage, we'll never print out more money. So you will get 0 right now at the subgame perfect equilibrium. But even though you choose to maintain the same wage next year, we will not print out more money, so 0 inflation, so it'll be 0. But labor union said, come on, we read the novel, the fable of Aesop, where the lion believed the farmer and get killed. So we can never trust you that you will maintain, because that is not backward induction. Okay, so we will ask for higher wage. But then, from the politician's point of view, we got inflation. That's why we have lower ratio of reelected. If we can have at least no inflation, of course, we would rather have a economic boom, but we give up. We can settle down with the second best because what is happening is not even as good as second best. So please trust me, we are not going to print out more money. We'll maintain the inflation at 0. Can they do that? In economics, we call them the commitment problem. Commitment is a promise someone can never break. So if you can commit yourself to something, later you change your mind, but then because of the commitment. You committed yourself, so you cannot change. But in real world, the politicians, even though they say, I commit myself, that was not a commitment. They always change their promises. So, in this situation, how can the politicians can achieve the same? Which means the politicians say, oh, we will keep the same money all the time. Okay? So please, if you choose higher wage, you will get -5. If you choose same age, you will 0. So trust me, we'll maintain the same money all the time. Once again, the answer is politician, we don't trust you. That's why in many countries they have central bank. Central bank. So in most countries, America, Japan, and Korea, it is not the president or prime minister who chooses the how much money would be printed out. It is the central banker who was appointed by the president or the prime minister, but then would be independent. Okay, their terms are longer, like 7 years for Federal Reserve Board, chair of the Federal Reserve Board, like Ben Bernanke. On the other hand, the presidents are only 4 years. So once you appoint the central bank chief, then the president cannot change him or change her. And when you become in charge of central bank, it says, please do not worry about the economic booming or election. Just your job is keep the inflation down. So don't bother yourself so much money. How can I increase the unemployment and things like that? And you'll be questioned and you would be blamed only when the inflation occurs. So that means now it's not politician, it's a central banker. They maintain the same money, whatever happens. Then from labor's point of view, it's same money. If we ask too much wage increase, it's -5. So I would let it get 0. So by changing the decision maker from politician to the central banker, kind of the government commit itself to the 0 inflation, not printing money too much. And that can be a good thing to the economy. Okay, so that is what we can see in real economy. Then that is why the central bankers keep saying the politicians and president should not force us to print out more money, kind of thing. Okay? Okay, until now it has been about it's better to be the second mover. Okay? Now we are dealing with something else. That is burning the bridge behind. Okay? Let's just explain the situation. There's a country A, country B, and between them there's a river or their river. Okay? I said there's a river, water flowing, and between them there is an island. And why did I say A? This island is occupied by the army of country A. Okay? And usually in this situation, this island would be claimed as territory not only by country A, country B. Country B think this island is country B's. Country A think this island is country A's. I mean, in so many, like almost every country in the world who has a borderline between them has this kind of problem. Like whether it's a sea, the island in the middle is always the problem. So this island is occupied by A. Country B is thinking about, wow, this is our land. We cannot let the country A to take it. We are going to invade the island and take over. Think about the situation. Country B can invade the island. Country B may not invade. if not invade, country B will get -2, country A will get 2, because country A is currently occupying the island. Country A is happy, 2. Country B, unhappy, -2. Why small number? Because the island is not really meaningful economically or at all, but it's just national pride. Okay? Country B, if want to get back this island and invade, and if country, oh, this is country A, I'm sorry. Country B, country A. Okay? Change the second thing, country A. So many typos, sorry on that. Country A withdraw, not fight, but country A's army withdraw back to here. Then country B occupy the island. Then country B would be happy with 2. Country A, I'm sorry once again, here is A, would be -2. So the first number is country B, second number is country B. So it's symmetric. When country A occupied, country A got 2. When country B occupied, country B get 2. This is country A, I'm sorry. However, what if country A does not give up? Country A does not give up. When country B invade, country A send the more army and they begin to fight. And when you have a fight over island, you are not only fighting over island, you are just invading the other territory once your soldiers get killed. So it's like total war. And whether you get the island or not would not be important anymore. So many soldiers would be killed, -20 and -20. Okay, I mean, Korea has a borderline with China, Korea has a borderline with Japan, and we have a island between Korea and Japan, and we have a region like some area between Korea and, of course, currently North Korea and China. I mean, yeah, we Koreans think that those are our land. But honestly, if you ask me, are you gonna send your son to fight for that island or small area with Chinese army or Japanese army? And certainly the probability that my son get killed in the war is so high. That's tough. That is revealed in here, -20 and -20. Do you really want to risk your life and your brother's life, your son's life, your father's life over this island in the river? So what would be the perfect subgame perfect equilibrium? Subgame perfect equilibrium, country A, once again, country A, the war, -20, withdraw, -2, will withdraw. Country B, afraid of invade and war, but by backward induction, country A will withdraw. So country B will get 2 if invade, not invade, -2, country B will invade. So it's going to be country B invade, country A withdraw. Invade, withdraw. Country B, country A. That would be the subgame perfect equilibrium. Okay, I said burning the bridge behind. I haven't explained that. I'm going to do that in the next lecture, lecture 19. Okay, this has been the lecture 18, and see you soon with the burning the bridge behind strategy in lecture 19. Take care. Thank you.